Hello. First impression is the last impression. Well, I don't really agree with that statement, but I would not say that I totally disagree with it. Let's find the middle way, middle grounds with the statement. First impression, I think, is not the last impression. However, it is a very important impression. And we need to, of course, make sure that we take care of this one, and so that people remembers us in a good way. Somebody wise said, your personality is an impression of your experiences. Good or bad, you have made it. But like all impressions, you're in complete control. Now, when you are in complete control, it means you had control in the past to make that impression. But it doesn't mean that you no longer have that control. You still have. You can still change it. The statement that I started with, first impression, everybody faces that. But usually the young people or the fresh graduates who are struggling with their new jobs get it a lot as an advice from people. First impression is the last impression. Make sure you do real good in your interview or you're gonna get kicked out. Well, that statement would be right a decade ago, but not anymore, because now you have Google and your employer, potential employer, has Googled you already, checked all your public information that is available. So the first impression is already there. What we can do is simply bring a few changes to ensure that we have a good impression if people look us up online, or if they meet us face to face, if they get a good time to meet us, or if it's a really short conversation, if they see us, if they hear us on the phone, for example, in any way. So instead of being perfect in one way, I would believe in being an all-rounder and have a nice, good impression in any way that people interact with you, either directly with you or, as I said, on the telephone or social media or anything. And I think one of these things is to be organized, to be, of course, for the visual impressions and also for the social media. You need to stay clean and tidy. You need to dress well. You don't really have to dress luxury. That's off the table. That's not really needed. You just need to have a basic sense of staying clean and staying tidy and staying well dressed. Apart from that, when it comes to formal and professional impressions, I think rather than trying hard to express yourself that you have some magical powers in an interview so that they can select you or pre-select you, I think it is better to just have knowledge on what you do. Be strong in your area of expertise, and I think that's all you need. You can never learn everything. Yeah, you need to know a little bit about everything that you can, and that is called general knowledge, and we all have that. But whatever your field is, if it's business, if it's something related to the social media, if it's medical sciences, engineering, anything it is, even if it's not that, even if we're talking about impressions on, on the friends that you are going to make in future, whoever you say you are or whoever you appear to be, you should have knowledge in that thing. Otherwise, whatever you appear to be, people are gonna eventually think you're not really that person. So there needs to be a synchronization on what you say about them. I have met people who post their names on social media or on Facebook, let's say, and they say, yes, I'm a good friend. Or they say that, I'm an expert in, blah, blah, this and that category. And that's what usually the CVs and the resume says, or the LinkedIn profile says. But when you actually get to meet these people and you explore them a little more, you don't really find that magic anymore. And guess what? That's a disappointment. So are you telling me that the first impression is the last impression? No, because in this case, the first impression I got about you was from your LinkedIn, which said that you're an expert in your field and you have done work with a lot of important, significant industries, and that you're excelling in your field and everything. But what actually happens when I explore you is I find it otherwise, and that is a total disappointment. So in your case, your second or third detailed impression would be the last impression. Um, so this was more about serious issues and I think more professional and formal type of impressions. But I think I should also talk about more casual impressions. And by that I mean the impression that you carry with yourself or give it to other people when you go to the malls or to the cinema or to a soccer game or just about anything that you go out, you hang out casually. But I think you don't really get time to speak to every person. You might be a really good person at heart, but only your loved one knows what's in your heart. And you might be a really genius kid up here in your brain, but only the people who observe you and sit with you and have a chance to get in detail with you would get that. Mostly in life, I think 80% of the people that see us or we meet, I'm talking about an average person, we have people who don't really come out, but I'm just saying for an average person, 70 to 80% of the people, we don't really get to express ourselves. And so how do we make sure that we have a good impression even if there is such little interaction in this whole scenario? Well, as I said earlier, I'm going to mention again, you need to stay clean. That's the first rule. And by clean, it's not that you're going to take a shower, wear some clean clothes. No, you need to have this clean outlook. You shouldn't look attacking. You shouldn't look like a terrorist or a pervert. There's a lot of words that I can add to this, but I'm just trying to give the idea. You really need to make sure harmony. We need to bring let's say consistency in how we appear to be and how we actually are. A good thing that we learn from all these famous people is because they're famous and they no longer get a single chance to get a first impression because a lot of people know them. Probably all the people that they're going to interact with in future, they know them, and the first impression is already taken. But you know, the second impression could also be done in a way that you leave a mark and people remember you and people respect you.